What up, everybody? How's it going? Lonnie here, Charts and Labs. It is, what is it, Tuesday? April 7th. I'm a little bit into the month. I wanted to start this at the beginning of the month. And just life is crazy. Things are going on. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's making money. Um, last March I did the bot challenge, the multiple bots, grid bots, and the AI trading bots in crypto, and we kind of did a comparison versus myself trading 0 day options, kind of showing the side of investing or trading, I guess, that is very highly speculative and that high risk, high reward. And it kind of churned back, and I said, "Oh, I should dial this back a little bit, and let's start from the top." I kind of started this channel and threw some content out there, but didn't really have a direction or didn't have much of a topic or series of sort to kind of guide through until I had a couple people reaching out saying, love your content, I'm watching it, but um, I feel lost sometimes, and kind of was a little bit of a gut check because I don't want anybody lost. So I said, well, you know what? Let's slow down and let's start from the top kind of thing. So for the month of April, we're going to reel this back in. It's going to be less trade with me type content, less reading, charts and jargon speak and stuff directly. And we're going to try to do, investing made simple, helping everybody have a good understanding, helping everybody have a good basis to grow from, so we can get in there and start participating. So, um, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, if you're just getting this shared with you, or just stumbling across this. But my name's Lonnie. I've been a day trader, a self-investor for quite a while. I don't even know exactly when I started, but it's been like 15 plus years, it feels like. I'm self-taught. I don't have this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But I had a great interest in this stuff, and I've spent many, many years reading through this stuff, teaching this or learning this stuff, and teaching myself all of these terms and these ideas from the wise people in it. And I feel like you learn really well by jumping in and swimming, kind of thing. No better way to sink or float than to just dive in. And that's kind of what I did. Um, and I was pretty successful day trading to the point where I actually started my business, Bully Bins, dumpsters and junk removal. Started from my day trading profits and ran that for a while, and kind of circling back and wanting to get back more onto this education stuff and teaching people. And investing is much more fun than cleaning out junk. So if you have never participated in the market, whether it's stock market, the crypto market, the commodities market, real estate market, a lot of the terms will all cross over. Your biggest one is returns, ROI. What is my rate of return? What am I making? How do I make money? And why am I investing? Why am I not just putting in the savings? And as most people say, oh, I have tons of money in my savings account. And a big red flag is that the understanding of economics in this is that money's sitting there getting less than 1% or even 1% in a bank account, or in the safe or whatever. The rate that you're losing money is greater than um, you realize. We talk inflation numbers, and people hear inflation is a big hot topic going around everywhere. But what is inflation? Well, inflation is cost of everything going up. Um, and we look at that and we see like, oh yeah, it's about 3%. 3%. So every year, that $1 item is now $1.03 the next year. And I go, that's not that big of a deal. It just kind of happens. Well, also you have a devaluation. as that goes out and more money is printed and circulated for other things and spendings and such, and if anybody has followed the U.S. government and most world governments have the same issue. It's just kind of a thing that they do. The central bank has to print money, excuse me, to operate. And whenever they print money, there's more money out. It also becomes devalued. So the supply and demand is a very basic concept that is hardly spoken of, and is probably simple for most to understand because you say, okay, well, there's a certain amount. If there's 100 of them and 100 people want them, then they probably are going to get them all. Well, what happens when there's 100 of an item and 105 people want them? Well, they become more valuable. What happens if there's 100 of something and only 90 people want them? Well, then they're not that valuable because they're very easy to get. So there's concepts in setting that value and that demand to increase or decrease the value of an item. And the dollar is no different. The more dollars that are out in circulation, it's not that they're easy to get just because they're laying around and you pick them up like a treasure hunt, but that lack of scarcity and the ease of being able to print creates a lack of value with it. So, that'll be kind of a lesson that we'll get into and such. We could talk about kind of the history of how money's progressed and the value of things. Uh, but I really want to focus on getting people familiar with key terms in investing, certain platforms that you can use that are very beginner friendly. I want people to be able to look at a chart. Charts are kind of my favorite. I love looking for patterns. Let's go ahead and we'll just throw one on there so we can um, kind of see. So this is on silver. We could kind of throw this as the overall kind of the S&P 500. To be able to look at a chart and see these candles moving or the line moving, what do they mean individually? How do I know? Like, obviously, this looks like it's going down, but or is it reversing and going up right now? When should I have bought? Like, what happens if I bought here? Am I losing? Or what is my strategy? How do I make sure that I don't lose? Because nobody wants to lose money, of course, right? So I want to make sure that we can see these patterns and be comfortable even if you bought up here on what's happening down here through the market moves and everything. We'll talk individual stuff. Hey, why is Intel doing really well right now when everybody else seems to be struggling? We'll come over here, and look at oil's up like crazy. And I thought gold was valuable. Why is gold going down right now from up here? What happened? Um, silver is kind of disconnected from gold. They used to mirror each other very similarly. And even the cryptos, what's going on in the crypto world and Bitcoin and Solana and even the small ones, the startups, TXE, what we could touch on them too. So not just looking at a chart, but um, understanding the movements of it, because that's a big thing that people will want to see is, well, when do I know when to get in? Where's the get in signal? Where's the buy signal? Where's the sell signal? When do I know how to do that to make sure that I'm always making money? And you got to realize first off and foremost, there's no guarantees in making money. But the good thing is, if you look through the history over time, um, the markets typically go up eventually. It's kind of one of the things that things get more valuable. So when you have money sitting in your bank, money sitting under the mattress, it is devaluing. And when you put that money to work, whether it be in stocks, in cryptos, in gold and silver, platinum, palladium, or whatever precious metal. If you're into the cryptos and you're looking for that, gotta make sure that you have um, an understanding of what you're putting your money in. I think is the biggest thing. Anything that you are putting your money in and you don't know what it does or what it's doing or what it can do, um, you might as well go to the casino at that point and just pick a color. Um, on the roulette wheel, and because then that's all you're doing. So hopefully we could get some good uh, d- definitions, some good understanding. Also point at some, maybe some good names. Um, you know, I I've always liked using Weeble since it was very beginner friendly. Um, and we have one of the things I did is I've gone through and I've organized a lot of the stocks here. So if you look over here, it's on this view. The Mag 7, you'll hear people talk about a lot. And what is that? Well, that's the top seven largest market cap companies in that. These are some the 5G and wireless movement. These are all telecommunication stuff, or specifically more towards cellular and 5G. This is a hot section, AI and Internet of Things. Um, there's a lot of names and there's a lot of companies in these certain sectors, and you can see that typically when a few of them are red, they're kind of all red or all they all follow each other as a group. Airlines, look at all getting beat up right now because fuel costs. That's what's driving the economy and stuff. Travel is going to be way down because ticket prices are going way up, and these guys are going to lose their margins because they can't raise their price fast enough to keep up with fuel costs going up so fast. Um, these are ARCs. So ARC is Kathy Woods, which is these are all ETFs, and we'll talk about what ETFs are. But basically, this is a group of money put together by these guys where they tell you what stocks are in these certain groups, so that you can participate in a group of stocks versus just a single. But going through these, there's a ton of sectors, and sectors are just the type of industry that these stocks are in. So again, that is something that is worth a valuable lesson to know. And because once you're familiar with it, like if you learn the sectors, you're able to diversify, which is a great word that people have probably heard a little bit, but maybe a better understanding of how exactly we diversify to to become profitable. And we want to make sure that we are um, uh, at the lowest risk, able to make the most money. So, just wanted to make a quick little intro video. Nothing really crazy, nothing really exciting in what I'm showing you guys. But the biggest thing that I just want everybody to kind of realize, I have a big opinion of, um, idle money is really not idle. It is losing money, and you gotta two choices, I think, is the way to look at it. Is you either give your money to somebody and let them manage it for you, and then they make the money and then they give you back breadcrumbs, or learn a little bit and become comfortable enough to make these decisions. And it doesn't take much to be able to participate and and grow your money, and you will get those rewards versus somebody else. So you don't need to know everything to get started. Sorry, you don't need to know everything to get started. But having at least a little bit of an understanding of what your money is doing and what your money could do should hopefully have you feeling comfortable enough to get started. So um, look forward to making the next video. I'm going to start cranking out one or two of these a day, hopefully. And that way, in case I ever get a crazy day and I'm not able to, that we still have some content out there. But I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. I want to get everybody participating and making money. Not that I'm anti-bank, but we can do so much better ourselves than letting the banks piggyback off our money for them to get rich. So, it's our turn to get rich too. So hopefully you guys are gonna follow me on this journey, and I hope that we can get comfortable and get wealthy. So see you guys on the next video. Just wanted to give a little introduction and get everybody kind of fired up and on track with what we're doing. But April is the beginning of the beginning. So see you guys.